Welcome back, avid viewers and public safety professionals. Last week we discussed the Safariland Autolock 9130, and this week we're going to cover our level 3 retention holsters from Safariland. Thank you for joining us and welcome back. In this channel and this review, we aim to give you information with regards to the latest and best law enforcement and public safety equipment anywhere on the planet. Broadcasting to you right here from Trinidad and Tobago and none other than AE Tactical. This week we want to run through and discuss the Safariland 7360 Level 3 retention holster. When it comes to retention holsters, Safariland has been the innovator since 1979, introducing the SLS, the ALS, and a number of other functions and features for retention holsters that are far superior. First, I'd like to allude to you to the fact that this particular holster is going to improve officer safety, it's going to enhance comfort, and it's certainly going to ensure functionality. At the end of the day, we're being tasked with a number of different environments, conditions, and there's so many variables. One of the key things to us is to retain our equipment, especially such a deadly weapon, such a lethal weapon, and such a piece of equipment that needs the utmost security for us to be able to function, keep safe, and remain comfortable. The Safariland 7360 holster is going to provide enhanced capability in terms of throwing, acquiring a high shooting grip as can actually be seen by accessing the other retention devices and drawing that pistol with a high shooting grip, giving the officer the ultimate ability to be as precise and as accurate as possible. Stemming from there, the officer has the ability to seamlessly reholster, re-engage not one, but two security mechanisms. As will be pictured in a short while, you'd actually see a quick grab test happening where the officer, such as myself, will be addressing someone in forward of my view, perhaps conducting an interview with the appropriate stance, but also still the vulnerability of someone coming from behind and possibly grabbing the firearm from you. Other simple tests, such as wiggling, jumping, and moving, ensuring that the equipment stays snug about the body and secured in the holster, are absolutely critical. As we're going to showcase, other holsters present a number of vulnerabilities, which we will go through now. So with me, I have a standard, just one style of holster typically used by a number of persons in law enforcement, private security. So here we can see that the belt clips are just basically spring metal. They're subject to breaking under tension, bending, or even dislodging from the belt. So number one, we want to make sure that we're secure to the belt. Number two, we want to be able to reinsert or reholster the firearm seamlessly without interruption. As you can see over here, there's the obvious closing of the material as it's not rigid or it does not stay open, and there's an obstruction, which is my thumb break. That can have the tendency at times to prohibit one from seamlessly holstering the firearm, two, removing their eyes from a very ongoing and dynamic situation, and three, causing other hazards as these guards could often get caught in the trigger or other safety mechanisms of the firearm in particular. Not to mention, it's quite a dance under a high-stress environment to have to cross your hands, open the holster, insert the muzzle in, and then refasten the tension mechanisms. Once the firearm is securely fastened, we spoke about the vulnerabilities by the belt. But likewise, there is no apparent retention that exists here to provide further and proper security to the firearm. This and a number of other holsters do not necessarily meet the rigors and the demands that these Safariland Level 3 retention holsters meet. As one can see, with this type of belt structure and belt loop, it's going to provide ultimate security from anyone being able to take this off of my belt or about my body. Second of all, in relation to what was said earlier, Here my holster presents an open well, and as soon as I insert the firearm in, I hear a click. That means my auto-lock retention device has been enabled, and with a quick movement of my hand, I've already engaged my SLS, which is my self-locking system. 3 levels of retention. 1 being security on the belt loop through the 3-hole pattern. 2, my primary locking device, which is my SLS, my self-locking system. And 3, my ALS, which is my automatic locking system. Automatically locks, manually closes with the self-locking system. Other practical applications of the features on these holsters, such as the hood guard, will help mitigate any accidental opening of the SLS, as may be caused from the shifting or the riding of the body armor, or perhaps when seated in the vehicle and the elbows or the seatbelt, what have you, causes that retention device to open. There are a number of purpose-built aspects in the holster that aids in security and reliability, and a number of those things that we're going to explain in our short product overview. Seamless reholstering can be achieved, as it's particularly important for us to maintain control over any use of force encounter. Had an officer used deadly force, or had he again attempted to gain a level or successfully gain compliance before using the ultimatum, the firearm could then be quickly, swiftly returned to holster and another use of force option deployed, such as the expandable baton or perhaps the handcuffs. What we wish to summarize is that this holster and the other bits of equipment that we show for the officer's utility belt must be secure, provide retention, and ultimately utility to the officer. Here we have the Safariland 7000 series of holster, in particular the 7360. The 7360 denotes a level 3 retention holster for a Glock 17 pistol. The 7360 model is available in a range of orientations, right hand, left hand, retention mechanisms, and a whole range of options. There are over 4,000 SKUs that relate to these holsters for models, orientation, colors, fits, and various different configurations. Known the world over as the most secure and functional retention holster, the Safariland 7360 boasts a patented polyethylene material that is injection molded in a single piece for ultimate longevity and rigidity. The Safariland 7360 and a number of 7000 series holsters boast this phenomenal 70S material for its rigidity to extreme heat, cold, dirt, and a number of other environmental factors. In just explaining one factor such as heat, a number of other polymer holsters would actually warp, change shape, and conform differently under extreme heat environments. You may say that in our environment, the heat may not be that excessive, but under the glass of a vehicle or other environments, that can significantly distort the shape and again reduce functionality and safety of the holster. Safariland has been famous for its locking mechanisms, the Safariland SLS and the ALS. So the SLS is the self-locking system, and again, true to its name, it is actually a manual locking system once engaged by the user. The ALS, which is the auto-lock system, it's a smaller depression level on the inside, actually aids the officer with retention that is automatic in nature. Therefore, the officer having the firearm being returned will actually hear the audible click of the gun being secured in the ALS. What's neat to note about the ALS and the SLS is they have been vetted and documented in the FBI uniform report, which can be found in the caption link below or on the Safariland website in the holsters section. Extensive testing that has been done to determine levels 1 to 5, and therefore establish a standard of conformity for manufacturing companies and also for end users seeking to provide the best quality equipment for their officers' safety, comfort, and functionality. There is no other superior retention holster than the Safariland Level 3 retention system. Retention begins with the belt loop and what Safariland calls the UBL. This is the universal belt loop that comes in a various different amount of sizes, shapes, and drops for user comfort and conformity of the body. Secondly, the ALS and the SLS both contribute to this system being a level 3 retention system. There's over 800 pounds of tensile strength that can be impounded on these locking devices and mechanisms before they even consider giving way. The testing standards and the conformity of these holsters have made them the preferred holster by special operations and first-tier law enforcement agencies throughout the world. For more information, be sure to visit us at aetactical.com, connect with us, and visit us in shop. Last but not least, inquire about our training programs. As with every purchase of equipment, we are adamant that we deliver training. Understanding the best techniques by which to utilize the products is what we specialize in, and we could certainly help impact the transition within your agency to help better use and deploy these products. Stay safe. Until next week, keep strong.